Internets and internets, children. Well, I should have said internets of all ages. We got one today. I'm excited about this one. And if you're watching this on the day of release, you can say happy birthday to me, because I'm releasing this on my birthday, because I think that's kind of a fun, special one. I kind of really want to release this today. Today is Sunday, but my birthday is on Thursday, and it seems like a good birthday, happy birthday to me type video. So not a lot of other people I see doing this too often. Still going to call you guys out. It's really hard to do. I put a post up, and there was... especially I think Eugene from the Compo Forum family was a little not 100% on board, I think, with the idea of doing these and the shootouts and stuff like that, just because it kind of highlights one maker or one spinner over another and kind of telling people what to buy. And I get some of that. But at the same time, I think it's our job as reviewers, if we're taking this seriously, to put it out there get my hands so there's something for you guys to watch. Put it out there to kind of let you know what we think. And these are personal opinions. Let's get a couple disclaimers out of the way first. And I completely changed my mind. I was going to say I don't want to do any, runners up, but I think I want to do a runner up just for a second, so we have something to spin while I kind of put my disclaimer out there. So we'll get this out while we do the disclaimer. Runner up. First, the annual Bridesmaids Award, or whatever you want to call it, the full size Cortex in brass. Good spinner. We're not going to get into this one too much. We're just going to have something to spin and look at while we kind of talk about the disclaimer. So first and foremost, in no particular order, so I guess not first and foremost. Let me move my camera just a tiny bit so that it doesn't move every time I bump the table. When it comes to these top 10s, it is completely 100% my opinion, not necessarily which is the best spinner, the best value. For me, it's just the spinner I'd most like to have, the spinner I most reach for, the spinner that I like the most. So it's a very subjective decision, and it's kind of a lot about the feel of it. So two is it's completely based on the condition of the spinner that it's in as I'm reviewing it. So it's not how it came from the factory. If I put some customization work on it, if I put some new shoes on it, all that factors into whether or not it fits in this list. And third, the margins are so tight at the top 10 list. I was going through all my spinners, and there's so many spinners. There's a lot more than 10 that I can recommend. This is just saying that for me, this is the top 10 that I prefer. Anything in the top 10 is definitely what I would consider like a must-have kind of spinner, but there are certainly others outside of this that are must-have spinners that I think you guys should not be, just because it's not in the top 10, don't not pick it up. But if it's in the top 10, you can rest assured that it gets my wholehearted endorsement and approval. So we'll get this guy out of the way real quick. Just a really, really solid spinner. Just when I had to really rank it up and put them side by side, I really couldn't say. So, I think 3.5 minutes in, it's time to get in there. So, number 10. That's right, y'all. The Hummingbird in stainless steel. So why is this the number 10? A couple reasons. One, I think the biggest reason that pushed it over the Cortex for me was the total package. The Cortex is a good spinner, and I just love the 100% total presentation of it. So it comes in this gorgeous little box that's just really well done. The name Hummingbird aligns with the shape of the spinner, the way the spinner feels, the way the spinner sounds, the beautiful stonewash on here. This is just a really, really excellent spinner. So again, total package spinner. Maybe we'll even bring the box in for this one. So really, really good. I wasn't sure if this was going to make it in the top 10. Kind of feeling it. I really like the way it spins and fidgets. It's very light. It's very fast. It's asymmetrical, yet it spins just about identical in either hand. It looks tiny, but it actually is kind of big. It feels small, but it's kind of a larger spinner when you talk actual spin radius. So Hummingbird, really, really like this little guy. Number 10. All right. Put that up there so you can see. Maybe we should stand it up, since it will stand up. Number 9. And again, first video was a top 10, and the next top 10 was for the month. This is back to not for the month. This is just a total collection top 10. So Yep. Now, if you guys saw my last review, one, you didn't get to see the really cool spin effect this guy has, and two, I put the full polish on it. She came to wear her black tux. This is a black tie event, so we got to get all dressed up. So this is the Nautilus. The Nautilus Classic by Nautilus Limited, I think is the correct way to say it. And the polish. Now, I did not repolish the buttons because the buttons actually had the nice patina, but the spinner itself, the patina looked all right, but I mean, there's something about this guy when she's shiny. I'm so shiny. Little Tamatoa from Moana. But look at that spin effect. Really great spinner, really fun to fidget with. Really, I love how soft and round everything is. No other spinners are really like this. It has such a big, heavy spinner, but yet it's so round and soft. Its biggest drawback, I think, is the fact that it is so heavy. You can sometimes have some hard time getting those really fast spins going on, and it really feels nice spinning fast, so you really want to get it spinning that way. But even gentle spins, it's got such a long spin time. Even if you just give it a little spin. I should have dressed up. Look, you can see my white tee in the reflection here. So we're gonna take this guy to frame quick so we don't see how bad I look. But it's all about the spinners, right? So really wonderful spinner, the Nautilus. Just a fantastic spinner. Big, heavy, feels solid, great spin times, looks beautiful polished, looks beautiful patining. Not the most fidgetable just because of its size and mass, but there's something about that. So let's move it on down. We'll set you down right there. Nautilus. All right, we're gonna start shaking things up a little. You guys might start getting surprised at some of the numbers that are coming in here and where they're getting positioned. That's right, Tungsten Tri-Fidget coming in at number 8. Number 8. You were number 3 last time. Well, there's just a lot of good spinners, and again, the margins in this top 10 are so close, y'all. That's not to say I feel like normally you'd think number 8 is kind of a poor showing, but in this list and these spinners that we're working with, let me tell you, boy, it's oh, I forgot I brought this block in. Thanks, Cody. Brought the block in to maybe present a little bit there. Really nice spinner. Put the blue Trits ice. Whoops, bumped my camera. Ice blue on one side, orange on the other. I put a little bit of a close to a mirror finish on the arms, on the actual weights themselves. Got these super conductor buttons. Fun to fidget with. Great density. Like, it's not so large with the tungsten, like I had that tri-portal and it was just so heavy, it kind of lost a little bit, even though it was really cool. It's not one that you would just spin all the time, and I suppose that's kind of the case in general with tungsten, but just really good fidgeter, great form factor, great for tungsten. Again, tungsten, its size and weight, man, you start getting unwieldy real quick and kind of lose some of the fun, and this keeps the fun of a spinner, yet is a good little tungsten spinner. So really nice spinner. Looks beautiful with those shoes. Just a gorgeous looking spinner. It's iconic. Fantastic spinner. Tungsten Tri-Fidget. Superconductor buttons. Trit it out. Show me them trits. Actually, we're going to put you right here because we're going to do a back row of 4. So we got to space it out. All right. And the same as last time, following the tungsten, you probably can tell from that shape. The USA Chakra, y'all. So fell a little bit to number 7, but again, the margins here are so slim. This is still a fantastic spinner. Now, I will give you a little spoiler here. The boss is not in this top 10. I only say that because I kind of want to talk about this guy because it is my favorite Wusa. So if I say that, you kind of know that the boss isn't going to come in over. The boss is a great spinner as well, but for me, this is the one I reach for a little more often. It's a combination of the form factor, which he just nailed it with this. Like, this is just such a great design. It's really hard to top. The boss is a wonderful spinner. Wouldn't take it back. We'll never sell it. It's my... Especially, for me, it's a little sentimental knowing that I was the first one that backed it. Chris touched base with me about the design of it and everything. So for me, it's special. It will never get sold. But for me, this is the one I reach for as well. And this will also never get sold. It's got the number 22 under the hood, full polish, but you just can't go wrong with this. It's got the butter stainless steel buttons, which take it up even another level. And, taking Fabian's advice, I threw a hybrid ceramic in here and just love it even more. Oh, I love it even more now. That was a really bad impression of Olaf from Frozen when his nose gets poked through, right? He's got the little tiny nose. But Wusa Chakra, man, like, this is world-class spinner. This is an amazing spinner. Anybody that's got one knows. If you don't have one, or you don't have any woo-saw, it's probably because you just never really took them serious and, you know, thought they were kind of like a kiddie, you know, silly little spinner company. And they're you know, silly people, but they're making serious spinners. So if you don't have a woo-saw, you got to get yourself a woo-saw. Woo-saw! Chakra. Give it a little spin on the podium. We should play. I should have like little music. Maybe I can find theme music to put in when we get to the top 3. All right. So there it is. All right. So what's number 6? Can you tell what it is? Oh, the buttons might give it away if you know me. Yep, Fabian's Spin God's Talisman. So what is it about this guy? For me, it's just that next level fidgetableness, especially with these Sandman Macaroon buttons from Neospin. Just a fantastic set of buttons that complement this really well. I think I still want to give this guy a full polish, but it's just this amazing fidgetableness. The bearing that's in it is just the right bearing. I haven't had to swap the bearing out or anything. It's still the bearing that's in it. I've never even actually forced it out and like re-glued it or re-press fit it or whatever it is. It just fidgets so well. It's got great weight, yet the weight is distributed in a really nice way to make for a great spin. You can reach outside, get good preloaded flicks. You can kind of do this outside pull, which I really enjoy. These sorts of flicks, if that's your thing, are good. These little finger cutouts are fantastic. It's just something that is just, it's a world-class fidgeter, and it's a great spinner. So it throws really nice. It's got decent spin times. And I got to be honest with y'all, I think, you know, especially some people in the Wusa family don't get upset at me that I put this over the Chakra. Chakra is a great spinner, but this is this is great as well. And we got to be honest with ourselves here. You know, whether you care for Fabian or not, we got to be honest with ourselves, and this is a fantastic A+ spinner. So I'm just putting it out there just because I feel like that's some comment, some criticism waiting to happen. But this is also, hey, do your own list. I really want to see other people doing their list just because, I don't know, I think it's a really interesting mind game to really have to try to sort this for yourself. And again, they're still all great spinners. We're not taking anything away from any of the spinners in the back row there. They're all A+ spinners. They came to play. So, Talisman. Spin God's Talisman. All right. What is next? I think this will also surprise some people. But when I pick them up and I spin them and I handle them, I got to call them as I see them. The Thrax. This is just so extremely fidgetable that it has to be in here. Like the weight distribution, the spinning, especially since, you know, and again, this has to do with me fixing the issues on this. The machine finish I love so much more than Media Blasted, but there were hot spots galore. But since I put a mirror finish on these faces, and these hot spots here have been removed, this is just such a dream to fidget with. They've got some of the best buttons going in the game. It's just a fantastic spinner. I prefer it in the stainless steel. I've had it in the copper, and that was also Media Blasted, so that might not be fair. But man, she spins good. She feels good. She's a good little spinner. Just so fidgetable. It's got this amazing weight where the weight's distributed in such a way where it doesn't feel too light. It definitely feels light, but those cutouts in the arms just allow you to spin it really well. It's got a great spin profile with these concentric circles, but yet the light dances across the full face, especially because it's got the mirror finish, right? But see how the light dances across the whole face, but then we turn it like this and we get those concentric circles. It's just a fun, great, wonderful little spinner. And again, the customization I put in it, for me, is definitely a big part that takes it over. Those mirror finishes really do it for me. She just looks sexy as all hell. So, and I don't carry it enough because I find I'm carrying so much stuff like I'm trying to review and get my hands on. But this is one of the ones I would definitely definitely would EDC more if it was just a matter of, well, I'm not buying any more spinners and I'm not reviewing them anymore. I don't have to get my hands on them. So, Thrax by Thrax. All right, next. The customization is what did it for me on this one. Oh yeah, look at that Shipwreck. So I've polished the arms here, and then I've polished basically all the straight angles. So polish it right down to here, polished it down around the side. So the last time I showed this, I literally just finished doing this earlier today because I've been meaning to do it. And again, she needed to get dressed for the show. Now the bearing, I think it needs a good clean. So the bearing that's in here I really like. This is the bearing that came with it. It just needs, I think, a little bit of a clean. I think we got a little bit of stuff in it while we were sanding it down. I was being pretty careful with it, but especially with it polished up. I mean, look how good she looks. She just looks delicious, yo. And these Kraken buttons by Abel Nelson are just amazing buttons, and the Shipwreck came out really nice. We re-highlighted the ring around them, which I really appreciate the look of. Right, look at how she shines when she spins. Now the brass, I should say, part of the reason why this brass is right here, it's off balance just a little, not too bad, and especially with something, once you shipwreck it, having it being a little unbalanced, I actually don't mind having a little wobble because it makes it feel a little more like it fits the aesthetic of the design. But look at these. Look at those buttons. Look at that patina. I love, at first I was trying to really polish this out, but it really, how close can we get that? It really kind of ate in there a little bit, but it just adds to the character of the spinner. So we got that shine on it. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do, sometimes, a big thing with design and customization just in general, sometimes it's hard to know when to stop, and then all of a sudden you've gone too far. And at first I was like, I think this is enough, but when I turned it on its side, this was just too plain over here. And I was really afraid of going too far and kind of ruining it, but I'm really, really pleased with how it came out, and it definitely did not go too far. I'm not going to go any further. I was thinking of doing this whole face flat, and I think that would have been that point where now you've gone too far. So we just did the angles. You've gone too far. Where you just looks good and spins good, and I like those buttons. Let's give her some time. Let's give her some time to spin, so you can hear a little bit of grinding from the bearing. But delicious spinner. And I keep saying Kraken. I don't think I'll ever be able to correct myself. According to Mark, I believe he was talking with someone, and it's pronounced Kraken. Release the Kraken. Maybe if I kind of say it like that, it's okay. But I always want to say Kraken. Kraken buttons. But it could be a Kraken. So don't hate me if I'm saying it wrong. Although thanks a lot, Ben. Judder. With a D, not a T. Killing me, Smalls. Now I'm ruined for life. Anyway, but at least I'll spell it right from now on. What do you hear over here? So we're in top 3 territory now, folks. So before we get into the top 3, let me say probably 2 to 3 weeks ago, this one very well could have been number 1. I started doing the video again and getting everything lined up and really trying to get a feel for what's in there and what's what. And in feeling the other spinners, I kind of re-fell in love with them again, which is a good thing, right? So like, you start carrying a spinner for a couple days, all of a sudden it's going to seem like your favorite, and then you go back and grab one of the old hats, and you forget how well she fits. So, but this is still a fantastic spinner. It was, I'm pretty sure it was number 1 the last time, and that is the Stubby in stainless steel. Now, a huge part of why I like this guy is the mirror finish that I put on it. It just has the mirror finish on this guy when it's spinning just looks so fantastic. It's probably the best, not probably, is the best mirror finish I've done to date. It's got a little fingerprints on it now because I was just playing with it. Probably need to reflitz it. I probably should have done that, have her get dressed. But she's stainless steel, so she doesn't patina like brass. So she just looks good. She just wakes up in bed and looks good. She's a natural beauty. That patina, you got to get up and put some makeup on her. You roll over and see her in the morning, oh, God, get dressed and put some makeup, but this is a natural beauty right here. So these are the, again, the Abel Nelson buttons, and just, it's like got perfect balance. Now, since I've really talked about this one, I've handled a couple other spinners that definitely have really good balance. This, for me, was one of the first ones that had, like, absolute perfect balance. Spins really nice. I did have to throw a new bearing in there, but again, that's because I got it secondhand and the bearing had been a little worked. Really great balance, and just look how good it looks, just shining. And the other thing too, let's see if we can really, it almost looks like we're getting a little bit of the refresh rate, but in person it almost looks like it doesn't move in. I can hear it, and I can see the slightest vibration in the reflection, but it almost looks like it's sitting still. Right, you see that? So you're getting a little bit of the camera refresh rate where you see that, but doesn't it look, it's like it's just slightly transparent and just standing still. So really, really dig it. So number 3, we're going to put you, we'll set you down right there. This is the podium now for the top 3. All right, so what's next? The people that chat with me really want to know what's next. And if you're following along at home, you know what two haven't shown up yet. So which one is it? Which one is it? I'm even debating right now switching it. Like literally, like that's not like a joke. I'm looking at the two. They're sitting right over here. Let me hold my hand. They're sitting right over here. And I'm really debating. When I sat down to do this, I wasn't sure. So that should tell you how good both of these spinners are. Because look what's down in front of us. Look what didn't even make it to this video. So many fantastic spinners out there. And look what's in front of us. And we're debating which one of these is one or two. Should we just, let's go with it. Let's have some integrity and keep what I put down when I started recording this video and not switch it last minute. It's a close one, y'all. Number 2. Compo Foam Hydra. Oh, she's so close to being number 1. Here's what's really beautiful about 1 and 2 is they're so different in a lot of ways. Man, it's spinning this, man. I don't know if I made the right choice. I reserve the right to switch my number 1 and number 2 before the end of this video. Compo Form Hydra. What is not to like about this thing? Now, for me, it's a total package thing to start. This wooden stand that it's on is gorgeous. Look at the presentation on this. It's so simple. It's so hard to do simple right, and they've nailed it. They've absolutely nailed it. Spin it. Oh, it spins so good. It's got amazing bounce. Now, I think when I did the review of this, I talked about the spin time on this, and it wasn't actually, I didn't actually get that great a spin time with the bearing that was in it. It was decent. It was kind of what I was expecting with so much mass near the middle, but I threw I'm not sure what's in it. Oh, excuse me. That snuck up on me. I'm not sure what's in it right now. Yeah, it's got a high velocity from Fidget HQ. And we were getting like, boy, 7-8 minutes on a table spin and 10 minutes. Oops, there we go. And like 10 minutes plus on a vertical spin compared to, I think, like the 4 or 5 minutes we were seeing before with the bearing that was in it. Now, I know Eugene said he's gotten better spin times out of this guy than I had gotten, and that was with the bearing that it comes with. But I threw that high velocity bearing in there, and it just smooths it out. It's a really nice smooth spin, but it's got that harshness, that hardness you get from a hybrid ceramic. So despite being smooth, you can kind of tell in the spin that there's some feedback from those balls. All right, so let's continue. So fantastic, amazing buttons. I really wish they would sell these buttons separately because I would love to get a couple extra sets because these buttons fit on just about everything because this spinner is so tall. They'll even fit on, for example, a Chakra, which is known to not fit other things. Now, when you put it on a Chakra, the body of the spinner isn't centered in there because of the way the bearing sits, but it still fits, it still works. It's about the perfect width for the cutouts in the arms if you put it on there. So we love these buttons, and I think part of it is the bronze and the patina effect they do, but they've actually got a fair amount of grip. They've got a softness, but even despite being flat, they've got great grip. They're large, so you can kind of hold it with 2 fingers, which I really enjoy. Let's look at the spin character. So this is a heavy spinner. If you remember me talking about it, it's over 100 grams, but when you take the buttons off, which are actually spinning is around 70, and then even then, they really, look at how thin those arms get. They've got these great cutouts to reduce the weight, and then they throw a big old slab of brass right on the end, which tapers up really nicely, cuts in really nicely. So you put all this mass on the outside, so it's heavy, but it spins light. Look at the spin profile on this. Like, you get this really cool ghosting effect with it. I keep showing it like this because it's one of my favorite ways to look at it. I just love looking at it like this. But I also love looking at it like this. And it balances so well. Big old buttons makes it easy to balance, really nice and smooth, great spin times. Any way you want to fidget with it, it doesn't have enough weight and mass to really hurt. And I when I did the review on this, I called it a perfect juxtaposition. And I like that some people actually had to look up what juxtaposition means, but it's essentially putting 2 things side by side that are designed to contrast, to show and highlight the contrast, right? So you put like a rusty car next to a new car to kind of, the juxtaposition there really tries to make the new car stand out. But here you've got this old, ancient, relic looking thing, big old heavy beast, but she spins like a dream, like just a sweet, smooth, light, fast, fidgetable little guy. We're just going to go on and on here if I keep this in here. So let's give number 2 her time in the spotlight to really appreciate it. Now, since I've had this, and I'm really digging this, I've been fidgeting this a lot, and I'm really starting to wear off the edges and that kind of that black on the patina on the corners. And I just love how that's looking. I love how that, whatever the patina finish is starting to wear off ever so slightly. The only negative I can say about this guy, which is easily resolved, is that of any spinner I have, it makes your fingers smell like brass or bronze or, you know, pennies more than any other spinner. That said, you just throw a coat of Renaissance wax on this and that issue is resolved. For me, I'm not throwing any Renaissance wax on it because I don't really mind that smell personally. And two, I really want to kind of like wear through and have this guy kind of show the work and the time she spends in my hands. So hasn't really worn off on the buttons much. Maybe a little bit in there. Kind of, it's hard to tell. It's one of those things that slowly and subtly changes over time. So it's hard to tell if that's much more faint than when I first got it. But just a plus spinner. So they're doing some amazing things over there. Compo Form, not getting the recognition I think they deserve. Most underrated spinner out there in my opinion. All right, number one. You know what it is. If you know me, you know what it is. If you're watching this video, you probably know me, so you know what it is. Listen to her. Here she comes. Here she comes. Miss America. She's style and she's grace. What is it? The Grave Raven. Binary Fusion. I hadn't carried this a lot because I had been carrying so many other spinners and reviewing so many, and this guy kept finding a lot of pocket time. Even when I was carrying other spinners to review, I kept finding myself reaching out and finding a way to sneak this into my EDC, and that's really why I was kind of like, I think she's going to win. I sat down, I started spinning, and I've been spinning this one actually. I've been carrying this one the past couple days here and there, and when I'm sitting at home, this is the one I've been spinning because I started spinning it, getting ready for this video, and just fell in love again. You know, it's like you get married, you have a couple kids, and you really start wishing for something. And then, you know, you go to that seedy hotel, you pick up this nice lady. Oh, she's so nice. She's so wonderful. She treats you right. She looks good in the morning, you know. And you're like, man, I got to go home. And you go home, and then you're like, wait a minute. Now I know why I love my wife. Because she is just, look at her. Just look at her. So, enough analogies aside, what is so sweet about this thing? It is... The tungsten copper on this, the way the weight is distributed, much like the hot Compo Form Hydra, it's so thin, it throws all its weight right in the outside. It looks fantastic. It's got these great cutouts. The patina as well. I've seen some patina really, really dark. Mine has a patina that dark. It's got like a nice finish, but it's not like that near like black that I've seen. Maybe near black's a bit of an exaggeration, but a much darker patina than what I've gotten. But this just feels like a handmade piece of art. You know, I mentioned it in my review when I kind of revisited it, and it's just such a fantastic spinner. It really is. It throws so well. It's the most fidgetable of any bar I've got. It just takes a little bit of moving, and it gets to where you want it to go. It's small enough so you don't miss a lot of the bar. You don't have to like, you know, like, oh, I can't get my hands on this thing. Like, it's just there for you. It almost like it reads your mind. It knows where you want it to be, you know? It knows what you want for dinner before you get home, and it's already got it made. How did you know I wanted tacos with homemade tortillas? Oh, I love you. Kisses. And completely unrelated, I was watching Average Singaporean's live video the other day, and he didn't know how he did the kisses so fast. And I guess I didn't realize that they're so fast, but I guess they're kind of fast. But anyway, so... just what is not to love about this little guy? It's got this, again, it's super dense weight, but it's still only like 79 grams with the buttons, 80 grams. So it's super fidgetable. It spins like a champion. Great spin times. I haven't spun it in a while, but we get at least 8 minutes on a vertical spin for a tiny little spinner, and I know they can get a lot more. I haven't cleaned the bearing in this for a while. When I first got it, I de-shielded it and cleaned it and thought I lost a little bit of the magic, and then after spinning it for a little bit, it kind of got right back where it was. And feels nice where it is. So I don't know if I actually really want to clean it to get more spin time out of it. I think this can be a champ when it comes to spin time, and it already is, but let's take you out of here for a second, because we're going to want to spin these guys, aren't we? We'll put your little box right here. So here it is. Here's your top 10. Here's your Hobby Timmy top 10 spinners. Now the question is, what the heck am I going to do for a cover photo? because obviously we don't want to give this away, so I don't want to just have the whole list out in front of you. I got to figure out something to do for a top 10. Maybe I'll hold all 10 of my fingers up. You guys are seeing kind of after the fact, behind the scenes, because by the time you see this, you already know what the thumbnail was, because I'll have put it up. So, but here we go, y'all. Number 1, Grave Raven. So let's talk about it. Let's quick recap. Hummingbird, great package, total presentation, really light, fun, fast spinner. Absolute heavyweight beauty beast, rounded, smooth, wonderful spinner. Perfect tungsten form factor with beautiful buttons and trit slots. Absolutely amazing playing with water. Fantastic fidgetable design and very, very special spinner, and also gets you part of the Wusa family. Really well executed. What you can do when you know exactly what you want from a fidget spinner. Really well machined, lightweight, fast, fun, perhaps one of the most fidgetable on the table here. Super, super fidgetable. Excellent customization options, really spins well. There's a reason why they've got their name in the market, and they're such a staple. Same thing with this guy. Really wonderful. Now, and again, I didn't really mention it so much, but if these were just stock, there's no way they'd be in here. They're good spinners, no doubt, but it's because of the customization that gets these guys in here. But again, great balance, staples in the industry, really well-designed spinners, simple, and again, simple is hard. You'll notice kind of a trend as we get high up here. Same thing with this guy, like having the simplicity, having the everything that's happening in this guy. We love it. Wonderful, wonderful spinner. Most underrated. More even than this guy, I think everybody should have one of these for what it's worth. This guy is a little pricey at $200, and I don't think it's going to be. This for me is special because it's special for me and what I like. I think anybody could appreciate this. I think there's some people that might not appreciate and get what I like about this, where I think anybody that gets their hands on the Hydra will love it. So there you have it, folks. I think we're going to clear the deck, and maybe we'll do another video that we can actually release today, so I have some content for you Sunday, right? We do the daily content around here, so. All right, Internet, this was fun. Happy birthday to me. Kisses, y'all. Oh, wait, we gotta get on a better angle than that. Let me just leave you with it. Kisses.